a sixth sense, if you will. Extremely heightened and...
Hello, lacrosse friends. Welcome back to the LASNAI here in Onondaga Nation. In upstate New York, I'm Steven Stamp, and I'm joined by Chuck Jaffe, and we are here for the Joes versus Pros. And it's the All-Star game. The Joes in the green and black, the Pros in the blue and red.
Well, the basic rule here for the Pros is any player who's got MLL or NLL experience. So while it should be fun, this is maybe not going to be that close a game.
We'll see. I mean, Tyson Bell misses the pass there for the Pros, and you'll have to forgive us if we have a little trouble with the name calls, because we have had these rosters for a few minutes as they've been finalized.
These guys have had these jerseys for a few minutes.
Exactly.
But that's part of the fun.
Yeah. Connor Kiernan takes it on the far side. He's a Joe because even though he was drafted in the first round on Tuesday night, he has not yet played. Here's a drive to the net, a diving attempt, and almost an opening goal by Kevin Mcnally from Puerto Rico.
Kevin Mcnally was an eye-opener during the World Games. He was a player that opened everybody's eyes as a broadcaster because he wasn't on their roster in terms of you kept looking going, he's not there. Who is that guy? Was literally a question we had to ask his broadcaster, but then he also earned that. And everybody paid attention.
Here's a chance for the Pros, and that shot off the arm of the starting goaltender. Adam Miller from Laser Sharks Blanco is between the pipes. We'll see his backup later in the game. I'm sure we're going 4 10-minute running time quarters. The Joes with a chance and a goal. They do open things up. That is the one guy who's not on there. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
They said it'd be a fun game.
Well, we'll find out who it's going to be when they announce
We'll
it.
hear the announcement if Mike.
Now, one of the things that is happening.
The numbers.
Well, one of the things that also will happen here is you'll have a couple guys who are teammates in this tournament who are playing against each other tonight.
Which, I mean, for those of us who spend a lot of time with the NLL and Canadian Summer Lacrosse, pretty old hat. I mean, we see that all the time. But
it is, but it's a little different when it's the same weekend. It's the same tournament.
Good point.
It's not a surprise when you go, okay, I've got guys who play on the same NLL team and they're against each other here. It is a difference when they came here to play together and now they're playing apart.
Mcnally bringing it forward again. We'll hand off. Colton Watkinson takes that pass, tosses it ahead to Tyson Bell. Oh, and he just can't pick it up. It's kicked over into the corner in Westmoreland. Gets that ball. It's passed to Derek Downs, just a little away from him. He has been ripping it up this weekend. Here comes with speed the Pros back the other way, and there's the first goal for the professional side.
It's Zach Reed with that goal.
The pass from Vin Curran. And I will admit my ignorance on Vin Curran's professional background.
I will tell you exactly Vin Curran. Vin Curran, when he's not playing here, plays for Bullseye in the Boston Box Lacrosse League. He played for the Boston Cannons practice squad. So that's where his pro pedigree comes from.
Do you play for a practice squad, or do you practice for a practice squad?
Was on the practice squad. Okay. I don't know if he actually got into a game, but he was on the roster.
Okay.
Because they roster their practice players
He's
in the
a
MLL.
athlete.
Yes, he is.
I've loved watching him play this weekend. Joe's come up with the face-off win. Very close to an over and back. They're going to let that one go. Jimerson Cornbread moves the ball into the offensive zone. Shot by Tyler Brown.
But see, in a true Pros versus Joes kind of game, I would have preferred to see Curran playing the other way. Would have preferred to see him playing on the Joes.
Absolutely. A guy who's trying to make it to that level.
Exactly.
Joe's coming back into the offensive zone. And again, number 13 has the ball.
Of course, it's the guy that
Seneca?
And dished ahead.
Brooker Muir on the run, flips it back. Oh, nice little pass and the goal. Lovely play. And finishing it off is
Noah Molnar for Gold Star Tel Aviv.
There you go.
Molnar plays for the Denver Outlaws. That's where his pro tie is. We'll try to keep you abreast of everyone's pro ties as they play here. And for me, we talked about Vin Curran. You've got 3 guys in the Boston Box Lacrosse League in this game, I am proud to say, because I run that league with my friend Randy Frazier. You've got Davey Emila and Marty Bose from Team USA, and then you've got Vin Curran.
So if you had the under at 5 minutes on Chuck bringing up the Boston Box Lacrosse League, you are a winner.
I got to bring it up honestly. It was one of our guys.
It was legit. Vin Curran getting involved. Tyson Bell goes through the middle. Shot for the nice save there.
You know, Tyson Bell is fun to watch in this environment because he has one speed. It is fast or super fast. And it doesn't make a difference that this is an exhibition game for fun. You've seen him a couple of times today already just kind of go in this game.
Trevor Baptiste D'ing up and takes a little pop for it. That was the Joe's enforcer, Mike Cooper from the Rochester Bats. Gives Baptiste a bit of a bump after he was giving Joe's forward a rough ride, transition player a rough ride.
Having watched the Bats play a couple of games today, I would say that Cooper's best skill as a Joe is going to be roughing up whoever he's played.
Dane Smith, bouncer, the long bouncer, gets a nice little tap there from Westmoreland from Music City, who says, you know, Dane, you're pretty good. 3-1, the pros pull ahead. You can see that on the board. We don't even need to tell you that, really.
But we're used to doing it. That's the thing. I mean, we do say things like this Lacrosse All-Stars North American Invitational is brought to you by Nike Lacrosse.
We do.
You can see that on the board, too.
That's a good point. You do want to make sure, just in case you didn't look at the bottom of the screen, though, that we let everyone know that Nike Lacrosse is sponsoring the tournament.
There are going to be moments in this game like the one we just had where I believe that the player for the Joes will go home and sort of tell it, which was Kevin Mcnally. So maybe not because he's played at such a high level before, but there are 1 or 2 of these guys who are going to go home and go, I got mauled by, I got manhandled, but like I never have been before by one of the pros.
Worker Muir getting up into the offensive zone. He doesn't play a lot of offense. There's a hard shot, goes off the goaltender. Muir in the NLL with New England does not play offense very often.
No.
But he has played offense in the Arena Lacrosse League and ripped it up. He can play. He has stick skills. I'd like to see him stay out for some shifts.
Well, he doesn't because he plays the same left-handed role that Joel Coyle plays, and Coyle is known more for his offense, and Coyle runs a little more of an offensive shift. So Muir, if he's going to get the floor time, is going to be one of the stay-at-home guys for that team.
Interesting, that's not true in the summer, though. Muir is much more likely to stay up and play an offensive shift than Joel Coyle is. Roles can change in the different leagues, obviously.
Based on who your coaches are, right?
Mm-hmm.
As much as anything.
Yep. And Tyler Brown just ran out to play defense. Saw he was going to be covering Dane Smith. There was no fear in his eyes. He was grinning ear to ear. He loves the challenge of playing against the best players in the world. I think he was excited. He wanted Dane to catch that pass so he could D him up.
Well, there's no lose. If you D it up Dane Smith and you give it up, you're just one of a million guys that Dane Smith has scored on. But you stop him even once, you get Dane to turn around and pass the ball off. You get to tell every single one of your friends, I beat on Dane Smith and he backed away from me. He backed down from me.
Isaac Bach from NOF, the non-orbital athletes from Earth.
Non-orbital astronauts. Non-orbital astronauts. I was calling them athletes as well.
The original title for NOF was the non-Olympic athletes from everywhere back at the Alice Robeski tournament in Prague. That was, of course, just shortly after the Winter Olympics, where the Olympic athletes from Russia were.
Well, and apparently NOF has stood for a number of things. In fact, today during one of the games where I was broadcasting them, we didn't have rosters and we did not have any of the players to choose from. So we spent our time kind of discussing what else NOF could stand for.
I think that's fair.
I had a number of options that I think were quite good, actually. I wish I could remember them now, but not obligated after flunking exams or something along those lines. There were a number of things like that. Penalty coming on the Joes, but first they got to get possession.
Yeah, Smith gets it back. Oh, what a catch by Tyson Bell. Oh, the moves up in the air. Hard fake far side, hard twister back near side, and slam dunks that ball home. I like watching Tyson Bell play
So,
too.
so here's a question for you, right? We're talking about this. So for some of these guys who are on the Joes, like because they played in the pros versus Joes game, they get to go home and they're gonna like frame this jersey, put it up on their wall, because they can't really use it anyplace else. The pros, they know they're pros.
True.
They're gonna burn this thing, maybe, right? When they're gonna give it away.
Yeah, I think
give it away to
it's a
somebody they
giveaway
like. Yeah.
Item for a lot of them, I think.
So there's Watkinson with the ball.
I'm just checking to see if any of the pros have a double XL. Or the Joes. The Joes are going to keep that one, like you said. That'll do it for the first quarter of play. It was 4 for the pros, 1 for the Joes. And there are going to be activities during the quarter breaks, we've been told. We don't know what they're going to be. Scott Neese
But
and
we can
Connor
call
Wilson.
anything.
Yes, but they've been keeping that under wraps. They've said activities. We weren't hinted that there'd be a frisbee toss at halftime. We were not. We were told. I believe.
And they didn't invite. They didn't invite us to do
I asked
this.
how many frisbees we got. It was not met with.
Is one of the challenges? One of the challenges could be that they could put 2 people up here for us?
Could be. Now Connor Wilson is down on the floor. I believe there's a Swoverall challenge coming.
Oh my goodness, a Swoverall challenge. Folks, if you don't know what Swoveralls are, you're going to wish in a few minutes that you still didn't know what Swoveralls are.
Word on the street is that they're selling like hotcakes. I find the concept a little bit odd. I'm not going to lie.
Which team in Israel, I think it was the German team, where every single one player bought Swoveralls in Israel.
I think. Kyle Bergman, who plays for Gold Star Tel Aviv and the Israeli national team, is the mastermind behind the Swoverall. I was actually up.
I don't know that you want to. That's not a title that I want.
I was up in the booth at Field 1 doing a game, and ESPN was filming games there as well. And Kyle or somebody came up and said, "Hey, can you leave?" Came up and had these Swoveralls and said, "Hey, can you?" And I was like, "Oh, interesting. I don't know if I want." And said, "Can you leave these for Quint and Kirk and
Really?
the other guy?"
So they helped Anish.
Oh, it's a race. Watkinson. It's going to be a full circuit. Who's he racing? Jared Nish from the Poland development team. Watkinson ahead as they pass the halfway. How far are they running?
They're doing one full lap, I assume.
Watkinson glides through the finish. We were talking earlier today. We wanted to see a race with Colton Watkinson in it. I don't know if Jared Nish
Yes, but we would have liked to have seen it with, say, Jared Newman, I think is what we were talking about.
That would have been fun. Good effort by Jared Nice. I'll tell you, I'd still be going. So I'm not going to knock his effort.
Absolutely.
And Colton Watkinson has himself a pair of Swoveralls.
I want to see Colton Watkinson play with those under his uniform for the rest of the game.
Last night at the field house, and I walked in and I was like, why is that guy wearing jeans? And it turned out, and then I said, wait, are they jeggings? What are they? He was wearing sweatpants. Very much like the bottoms of Swoveralls. It was
Okay,
it
well,
was really something. It just looks so strange. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody playing lacrosse in sweatpants other than, Dylan Ward and other goalies. Dylan Ward is an adamant advocate of the sweatpants for goaltending in field lacrosse.
well, it's just very old school. I mean, Mike Gavazdin as well, and in fact, the joke was when Mike Gavazdin, who was in Israel playing for Argentina, was that you could kind of say, hey, look at this goalie. Where did he play college ball? Because all Hopkins goalies, it's been the style dating back to Quint Kesenick's days and before. All the way back, this will show how old I am, to like the Kevin Mahan days. So that's in the 1970s, folks. The Federico.
Will Mahan is here at this tournament doing some facing off.
Is he related to Kevin?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, I'm not sure. Kevin Mahan and Mike Federico, and then you got to Larry Quinn and all the other Johns Hopkins legendary goalies. They all believed in wearing sweatpants.
And as much as we're having fun, and it is a fun game, I'll tell you, some of these Joes want to show that they can compete at this level. That is Brandon Miller in net, I believe, for the pros at this point. And Oh, diving shot. What a beautiful finish.
Rich Casey from the Cleveland Demons. That's how he scored Cleveland's one goal. I think they only scored one goal in the game that I did for them today.
I have not done a Cleveland Demons game this year, so I'm going to just ask, is it Rich Casey or Casey Rich?
I believe it's Casey Rich, actually.
I ask because I've done the same thing before with the rosters.
Yeah, no, this roster has some, but not all.
Not all.
But not all. He's Casey Rich. Yeah, it took me a minute to place that as well. The Cleveland Demons team, as we'll tell sort of stories about part of the fun, and it really is part of the fun that you want to come here for. The Cleveland Demons team has one guy whose jersey, his name is Noah Bill, but the guy whose jersey simply says Hall & Oates on the back. So everybody else has their name. Hall & Oates, the band, the musical group. And he's like, yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm like their biggest fan, which I don't think is true, but nobody could seem to actually know the question as to why, and everyone else pretty much has their name.
Goal. Bouncing it off the back of Brandon Miller. It's a pretty nice little play there. Is that Isaac Bach? We'll listen to the announcement. It was Isaac Bach from Nove.
I did 2 games for Nove today, and that's one of the things that happens. We saw a lot of teams. Baptiste gets the ball out to Molnar.
Trevor Baptiste with a bit of a bump. I believe that is Cameron Seneca, number 13 for the Joes. It gives him a friendly tap back. Here comes Davey Amala. He'll bounce one well wide. It's left there. Oh, could have been a breakaway.
Dan Deckelbaum.
That's some hard forechecking. Derek Downs gets stripped, fights after it. Double team, loses the ball.
Also, 2 straight goals from the Joes have made it a little closer here, 4-3.
It's a tight game. It's just like the quarterfinals. All one-goal games. In the last one, USA blew up by 5-1, and then all of a sudden, things got really tight.
I think you called it right in that game. You said that they basically had relaxed. Emila can't finish that one.
Long outlet pass to Cameron Seneca. Bounces off the ref, a fortuitous bounce. Puts his shoulder down, dives, penalty. That's got to be a penalty shot. I'm going to let Kyle Cropman know that should be a penalty shot. Cameron Simpson gets the loose ball on the rebound. 13 for the Joes to get a shot off. They've got 6 attackers. Seneca, seems only right he got the shot. Tyler Brown will rip one. That's stopped by Watkinson.
And if you could see, fans, my broadcast partner, he is literally trying to signal penalty shot.
Oh, Kyle Cropman. That's a Joe move as a referee. You gotta give him the penalty shot there. Connor Kiernan had one earlier in the tournament, I believe. I'd like to see him get another chance. Kiernan up top for the Joes. Interesting approach to spelling Connor Kiernan's last name on the roster. There's a shot from the outside. Zach Reed comes up with it and rips the ball to Dane Smith. What a play! And the goal, shorthanded. And I was hoping Dane Smith would play some defense in this game because I love watching him run the floor.
Yeah, well, and that one came out of the rafters in the rain. You know, and when I say out of the rain, that ball was way up. I thought maybe it was going to clip the ceiling on its way.
Zach Reed doing his best Aaron Rodgers impersonation with the Hail Mary toss that comes down behind all the defenders dead into the stick of Dane Smith. That's a great finish by Dane Smith. What a pass.
Yeah,
by Zach Reed.
Hey, you know, it's interesting. Brandon Miller in the net right now for the pros. Brandon didn't play in the last game. It's the one time they didn't split was that last game.
So maybe they figured they'd get him some action tonight. Tyson Bell tries to feed one through, gets it there, behind the back pass, a little bit behind him. There's Tyler Brown playing some defense again over on Bell. Miller drops down to make that save, and Brown will look ahead. Nobody's open, so he's going to run it now. Passes to Derek Downs. Tyler Brown loaded it up. We've seen some lasers from him into the corners, but that one dead in the middle of the belly. And that's a lovely finish.
Liam Patton with it from playing for Goon Squad here, but Liam Patton takes that long length of the floor pass, and that's 2 length of the floor passes. One keyed up by Brandon Miller, the other Zach Reed.
And Liam Patton is a terrific young defensive transition player, and drafted by Calgary, actually, then went to Buffalo, and was then signed as a free agent by the Philadelphia Wings, where they've got quite an athletic young group with Patton and Steph Charbonneau and some very interesting defenders on that team that they can grow with.
Well, what you can say from as you watch them build that team, we can't say that they're going to be good yet. They might be, but we can't say that yet. We haven't seen anything. We know they're going to be athletic in Philadelphia.
Yes. I mean, they're going to put some goals in. You have Brett Hickey, Kyle Matisse, Josh Courier on the right side. There's a goal finishing it up right in front of the crease.
That's James Schutt.
James Schutt. I'm not familiar with James.
Plays for the Philippines. I'm not sure what his pro experience is.
I don't know.
Not sure what his pro experience is.
But they've also on the left side to Chris Kluche, the second overall pick in the draft. And they added some other offensive talent in the expansion draft. I mean, they're going to have a chance to put some balls in the net. Not sure exactly what their goaltending is to be right now. Doug Buchan, who played for the Peterborough Lakers, where Paul Day's the GM, and they signed him for that. Here's a chance again. That one goes wide on the far side. And he was signed with Philly. He could be very good, but he's not proven. And that's basically the status of all their young goaltenders. Too many men on the floor.
But, you know, that's also the status of the New England Black Wolves.
It is.
We don't know their goaltending status, even though we know that Doug Jamieson has been in the league for a while.
Tyson Bell is arguing this call. It's interesting. I think there should be a rule in the Pros versus Joes game that any too many men penalty is a penalty shot.
Good idea.
I also tried to convince Kyle Kropman, Scott East, who's standing here beside me, that we should have had a penalty shot on that last penalty at the other end.
Just a surprise at the end of the third quarter, Steven Sam.
I'm not saying a word. Ripped by Cameron Seneca. That goes wide. Scooped up there.
So,
Rusty gate check attempt by Connor Kiernan. Dane Smith behind the back. Diving twister attempt.
that's Noah Molnar again
Yes.
from Gold Star Tel Aviv and the Denver Outlaws.
Seeing 18 with 16 runs along, it's confusing me. The spacing on the opening in the six is very tight. So when he's diving,
Some of the uniforms that we're watching here,
can be challenging.
they are challenging. They are tough. So we have a minute left in the period. We have 7 seconds left in the penalty.
So Smith and the Pros just waiting to go to the man advantage. And out comes Davey Amala. They've got 7 to get a shot off. Dane Smith's at the top. Oh!
That's a nice rip from Deckelbaum.
Yeah. We saw that a little earlier tonight, Deckelbaum. Burying a shot or two.
And Deckelbaum really sort of, from his pro days, you sort of know there's 2 things that he's really good at. One is that shot right there. The other is the layout from behind the net.
Just 12 seconds left. I don't think we're going to get a face-off. Certainly no hurry by Kevin McNally to get to the dot. he just waves his hand and says, yeah, no, we're not facing off. Trevor Baptiste sure smiled. I'll tell you, Trevor Baptiste is a competitive guy. He's trying to prove himself at every level. And I think he might have been thinking, I want another face-off win. You won one off me earlier. I'm going to get you.
Look, it's one thing to say I'll play in the Pros versus Joes game. It's another thing if one of the Joes kind of gets that moment on you. Like I said, it's, you know, many years ago in a men's league I was playing in when I was young, and when Casey Powell was just out of college, so he was young. Casey showed up to play, and the story was, well, Casey, why are you playing against me? If you play against me, you score against me, you're one of a million guys that scored against me. You hit the post against me, I get credit for a save for you. I email every person I've ever played with or against and go, I stuffed Casey Powell. Now I will point out, by the way, that he hit the post on his first shot, and I yelled at him the whole time, that's it, everyone I know is going to know, and he then blew one by me on the next shot. So
we've reached halftime, and we have Emma over to just to the left of it, over there in the sweater, to the right actually now, who was our camera person for one of the recent games, and Emily beside her in the gray and black, and Lily, their friend, with the Syracuse sweatshirt, putting out some water bottles along the restraining lines. 4 more to our left that were behind the Joes. Not sure what is going on here. Connor Wilson explaining to Kyle Krotman.
So is
this going to be an
a shooting challenge? I would think so. Junior Ramos from Puerto Rico is over on the far side. He's ready to go.
Coming up then is our accuracy contest.
So we'll see.
There you go. I've got my torque here. I could go out and
accuracy with a bounce pass?
I don't know. I'll tell you, I've been throwing dimes with this thing. Nick Coyne loaned it to me for the weekend because I'd forgotten to bring a stick with me. I don't know why. So I borrowed a couple of his sticks to try them out. He let me use this one. It is one of the most beautiful sticks I've ever touched. It's like an extension of me. It feels like part of me, Chuck.
It's an emotional experience.
It is.
Does Nick know he's not getting his stick back? Does Nick understand that stick's not going home with him? It's now emotionally involved with you.
So emotionally attached to this stick. I've always heard about how great the torques were. I've never had one or used one before. People always talk about their fondness for the torques and how for a while you could buy them for, somebody told me that you used to be able to buy them for $30 and guys would buy them 6 at a time. I guess apparently there's an issue with them warping eventually. I don't know if they don't make them anymore. There's got to be a reason, but it feels fantastic. And I mean, I play in Masters Lacrosse. It's not like my stick's taking a beating.
If it's working for you, that's all that matters.
I believe the prize for this particular contest will be the royal blue Swoveralls.
Oh, more Swoveralls. So it's good if you're accurate, but it's okay if you're not.
You're not going to make friends with Kyle Bergman, I'll tell you that. Marty Bowes on the far side. A nice start on the near side for Matt Noble. Matthew Noble? Is that Matthew Noble? Hey, Marty Bowes finally gets one.
Yeah. But on the far side.
Yeah, he's down to his last one.
Yeah, Junior Ramos.
Junior Ramos. He's just got to get one more. Kieran having some trouble. He just can't hit him.
Well, I got one here as well. Different strategies. Guys doing different things.
Kieran's run out of balls to shoot.
Yeah, well, they're getting him back. Marty Bowes just hit a second. So it's basically everybody's down to one. Everybody's down to one.
No, Bowes has 2. Kieran
yeah, except for Marty.
3. And Kieran's taking his glove off. He's going one hand. I think this is an exercise in frustration for him.
It's like, why am I aiming for a target that is... Marty Bowes is down to 1.
Ramos has been
there you go.
For a while. Ramos, who got it? Matthew Noble. What's his pro experience, Chuck?
I could not tell you.
Yeah. There's actually a Matt Noble, played defense for the Elora Mohawks, just won the Founders Cup. I was there in Arkwasawski for that tournament. Boy, he's a terrific player. He's available for the recent NLL draft. And I thought somebody was going to pick him up. He is a big, athletic, very smart defender. And I would encourage any NLL GMs watching right now, which I don't think there are any. There might be. I don't think they're scouting this game.
No, I think they've been scouting some of this tournament.
Yes, absolutely.
But that raises a question. I got to ask a question.
Bring Matt Noble to camp.
Let's talk, because we can.
Sure.
If you were counseling a player
yes.
who was disappointed that he didn't get drafted the other night,
yes.
would you say that you'd rather be a free agent than drafted in the last 2 rounds?
Oh, that's a good question, actually.
I mean, on the one hand, you know that
There's
it's
a rider to that question. A lot of players, it seems like more players entering, declaring early for the draft. It seems quite a long renunciation list this year. I'm wondering if players are renouncing, going to the draft, actually kind of hoping they'll get selected and cut by a team so that they become free agents. Because there is value to being a free agent. And if you're in the 6th round, I still think if somebody drafts you, they have to bring you to camp. You are guaranteed an invitation to training camp. So that there's benefit, there's definite value in getting into camp. You can establish a relationship with the team and the team with the player. I think there's definite value being drafted.
But, I mean, especially at a time like now, you can look at some of the teams, and there are 1 or 2 teams that as I watched the draft, I said, I'm not sure any of their draft picks will even make the practice squad.
I think everyone's 1st round pick will make the practice squad.
Oh, yeah, but
teams that were picking later.
Teams that were picking later.
That's a possibility.
And teams that didn't have. I mean, I specifically, of course, have been announcing Black Wolves games for years, and I'm not sure that a single, they didn't pick till 26. I think they got a good player at 26, but
no, they moved up and got.
They moved up in the 30s.
Oh, okay. Is that it?
They moved up in the 30s. They did not move up to change their first pick, which was 26 in the draft.
Okay. I have all my notes from the draft here, but we don't need to get into that.
Let's
get back to the game. We're 20 seconds into the 3rd period. 4 10-minute quarters.
And 4 straight goals for the pros after the Joes had made it a 1-goal game.
It's a nice save to open things up there for Vernon Claxton for the Toronto Tigers. Is that not Charles Claxton?
Charles Claxton.
Yeah. Why should I say Vernon?
I don't know.
Charles Claxton, a great year in the Western Lacrosse Association. He's a young man who's really making a name for himself, and I'd be stunned if he's not in NLL camp. Has he been signed yet? I don't recall.
Someone was saying they thought he was going to be, but I don't think he has been yet. But he's played great thus far.
He has. A lot of players are not signing contracts. Here's a long outlet pass. The nice save again by Claxton, but players, I don't think the PLPA really wants guys signing contracts at this point, while there's no CBA in place.
Right.
So,
do you believe that we will see a lot of changes? Do you believe that we will see a lot of? Do you believe that we will see a lot of changes as a result of the new Paul Rabel League?
Well, what a finish! Is that Matt Noble again?
I believe it is.
He is buoyed by winning the water bottle accuracy contest and carries it over to this 3rd period to make it 9-3. I don't know if you know. Did you notice Paul Rabel was not quoted in that story? And that there was not a whole lot of confirmation that league actually exists to the extent that it was reported that it does.
There's a lot of things. Remember that that Major League Lacrosse, basically, it's been very interesting there, looking at some of the signings there. They are not represented by PLPA, of course, and there's talk of changes that they're making and what was being called MLL 2.0. But I think that to some extent, the confirmation of the Rabel story really came when U.S. Lacrosse basically ran with it as well, and Lacrosse Magazine.
I think there's still some T's to be crossed and I's to be dotted before that league is a reality.
I agree. And I think there's a lot of open questions as to how they're going to do it and which model they're going to take, because it sort of sounded like they might take the women's pro model and not have home teams, kind of say, we'll take the show on the road.
That in the story we saw, of course, that would be a touring league.
And we've seen that before as well. We had right. We both know what it is. XM, the LXM.
LXM, that's it, yeah.
Where they were doing stuff with concerts, and that shot from Baptiste goes wide.
Trevor Baptiste did play forward in the Colorado Collegiate Box Lacrosse League. Here's a breakaway for Cameron Seneca. All alone. Nice moves and rams it home. Beautiful job. As he beats the new pro goalie. Number 1. See any other goalies on there?
I don't.
Sorry, folks, don't know who that goalie is. It's a very shiny helmet, though. Who has been wearing a shiny helmet this weekend?
Well, they had Jacob Lazor on the roster,
Yeah, that's not his helmet.
but I don't think it is.
Time goal, 6:31.
Intriguing.
So it's 9-4 with under 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Nice dunk attempt there.
Claxton
Nice
didn't
Deckelbaum.
see it. Claxton didn't protect it. And that's what we said. What did we say about Deckelbaum? The shot from the outside and the dunk shot.
He wanted to show off his entire repertoire. Pass down low.
Well, that's part of why I say, as we're looking at this, there are a couple of guys who aren't here playing for the Joes that I would have liked to have seen. Keldon King, who is playing for the Akwesasne Aces. He had a game today in which he pulled out the entire trick bag. I mean, his first goal was around the world. He missed on a behind the back shot. He came out with a perfect dangle to free himself as the pros get another score there.
A lovely finish. Quick release by Davey Amala coming across the top, taking the pass. One thing, it's an all-star game. It's pros versus Joes. It's a fun thing, but they're playing defense out there. They are D'ing up, playing pretty tough. It's not super chippy, but there's some defense happening out there. Not like, unlike your typical, say, NLL All-Star game.
Right.
That they had. I remember talking to Chris White, who was a great defender with the Buffalo Bandits, captain for them for a long time, and
Great
training
guy.
with him once, and he was saying, why do they bring guys like me to All-Star games? We're not playing defense out there. I'm not running up and playing offense. That was back before the rules changed about the length of stick as well, and you had the defenders with the 46-inch sticks who could really lay the lumber on you. There's a nice run, circling behind the net. That was Ben Lavalley from the Czech development team, so the youngster going for a try.
He is the captain of that team.
He's a big young man and quite a player. There, he's going to pick that pass off and go back the other way. You can see he can move. Bill O'Brien has a little trouble handling that shot after the ball after Isaac Bach missed the pass. Here comes O'Brien. He's going to let it rip. Toe drag. Oh, he passes off to Tyson Bell. Bell fakes it.
Come on, Bill. You're wearing the GoPro camera. What have we not seen Bill O'Brien do with the GoPro on? Score a goal.
We have.
Oh, we have?
We have seen him score with the GoPro on. I think. Pretty sure I saw one on one of his videos. I love watching it's the U-Hawk. Cam Simpson tries to slide into the middle. Ball still in the stick. Kirby Zidril from the Brooklyn Dodgers. Now Simpson has it. He does some spectacular things. There's a penalty coming right there. Oh, what a finish. Oh, no, let it count.
Should have.
Hello, yeah. So it's a too many men call. Oh. Now Brian and Simpson getting into it a little bit. Those are friends for quite long-time teammates with the Onondaga Redhawks. Boy, Cam Simpson can do some things. He scored a goal at the President's Cup that was just spectacular. All over Twitter, the Lacrosse Twitterverse. Flying through the air, changing planes, changing angles.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
By the way, I'll point out Vin Curran in the penalty box, serving the penalty. He is familiar. He is familiar with the penalty box.
Oh, what a save by Claxton. And as a goalie, you're going to be, we did say they're playing some defense. You're not going to get the kind of defense you would in a normal game. And Charles Claxton has been making some great saves when he's faced high-quality opportunities here. He's another guy that definitely belongs getting a chance to play.
Well, and it was interesting, one of the games that I did where Claxton was playing, the opponents came from behind, took a lead, and had the chance to extend it, and Claxton made a great save, and then everything changed. All the momentum in the game changed.
Charles Claxton, I'm pretty sure it was him, also scored 2 goals in 1 game.
Yes, he did.
In the summer. And they were pretty nice shots, too. They weren't just like rolled at the length of the floor. They were 1 or 2 hoppers. Yeah, that's an illegal pick. Cameron Seneca with a big smile on his face after he de-helmeted one of the pros with that pick. Not sure the pro was smiling quite as broadly.
Yeah.
Into the final minute of the third period, it's 10-4 for the pros. You can see that. Oh, it's 9-4 according to us. Or
The scoreboard and the score plate at the bottom of the screen do not agree.
now they do.
Now they're fixed.
Too many men call against the Joes.
And as we've said, we would like to see that be a penalty shot. You're lobbying again for the penalty
I'm
shot.
just thinking if they see it.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see this one because we have another skill challenge
Right.
here at the end of the third
And
quarter.
there was possibly a tease or a hint from Scott Neese.
That's coming.
Maybe we're going to get our wish to see some penalty shots. We'll see. We'll see. The third quarter comes to a close. It's 10-4.
But we'll stick around. We'll stick around to see what they're going to do here in the talent competition here at the LASNAI All-Stars North American Invitational, brought to you by Nike Lacrosse. So yesterday, so I have to tell this story because it was so unusual and because this is sometimes how the rules get goofy. Here we are talking about penalty shots, and the first game that I did when I got here last night was so they're going to do a team shootout here is what they're doing. But I had a game in which under a minute left,
Yes.
the Akwesasne Aces wound up having too many men on the floor. They were man up, and they put 6 guys out as they started. They got a too many men call in the last minute, which results in a penalty shot. So they not only lost their man up opportunity, they wound up giving up a penalty shot, which wound up being the game winner.
There you go. It's a weird one.
The offensive too many men resulting in a penalty shot, I've never seen that one before.
So Claxton is clearly going to be the one goaltender for the Joes. Both goalies will be, nope, they are going to opposite ends. We were just discussing it because Adam Miller, who played the first half of the game, he's taking his uppers off.
Yeah.
And he's not putting them back on. It's like, Charles, you go ahead. And Cam Simpson is giving some ideas to Tyler Brown and Cameron Seneca. Acting out.
Oh, and it's
What
Stefan
did you
Schroeder.
do?
Stefan Schroeder is the goalie for
Oh, yes, it is.
the pros.
Nice grab.
During the shootout, if the goal is good, it will be added to their team score.
Oh.
Any goal scored during the shootout will be added to their team
So
score.
these shootouts in the skill competition will count in the score of the game. This has been announced over the PA system.
Well, you wanted to see a couple of penalty shots. Now
gonna
they
see
actually
6.
matter.
They do. So Dane Smith is out on the floor for the pros. As is Vince Thomas. Looks like Vince Thomas will go first. And the third pro, Trevor Baptiste. Here comes Thomas. Claxton steps a step or two off his line. Oh, what a save after the early bird attempt by Vince Thomas.
So this could actually change a lot of things if you think about the pros just kind of having fun and the Joes wanting to just kind of go straight in.
Have fun too.
Yeah,
Cameron
but-
Seneca coming in on Stefan Schroeder. It's in. Schroeder is aghast after it hit him. He got quite a bit. That's a pretty neat move at the end, actually. Picked it up with one end of the stick and it rolled along the shaft to the referee. Now, Trevor Baptiste heads over to the far side. Claxton stays on his line, now hops out a little bit. It's in. Baptiste, a couple of small fakes and then just rips the ball through the hand of Claxton. Okay, Cameron Simpson's coming out. This is going to be fun because this guy's got some.
For the Joes,
Wait,
number 6, Cameron Simpson. No goal.
Simpson tried something a little creative, grabbing the ball with his hand.
Number 20, Dane.
Well, we've already seen Dane Smith with what amounted to a penalty shot earlier on the long breakaway.
We'll see what he does here. Off the glass to himself. Good effort as he goes Dane to the glass to Dane, but can't finish it. Now Tyler Brown. Now, this is a kid with some stick skills and some creativity who likes to have fun on the floor. Let's see what he does as he comes in, loads it up. He's going to go off the glass, and he might have had that one, but it hit Schroeder in the back as it came out.
So Schroeder made a save with his shoulder.
Yes. Tyler Brown was playing horse.
So it's tied. Neither team won. It's 1-1.
Right.
Will they do more?
I don't know.
Are there swoveralls at stake?
If there are, then the guys are running out there to get part of this.
Or do we get them?
Matthew Noble wants to go. See, he's fired up. He won the accuracy contest. He wants to get back
He
out
wants
there.
another pair of swoveralls. He's got a friend.
He wants more than one color. He wants to get some casual swoveralls to go with the dress swoveralls that he won for the accuracy battle. There's Mark Donahue wearing a very cool Poland lacrosse shirt and clearly enjoying himself here at the All-Star game.
So Donahue, of course, is with LASNAI All-Stars.
He is.
This is the LASNAI All-Stars North American Invitational, brought to you by Nike.
True, all of it. We are 5 minutes away. They've shortened the fourth quarter to 5 minutes, which means it's not a quarter.
Yeah, it's a seventh.
Yeah. So we are in the final seventh of play. It sounds like a music notation. It's a major seventh.
And the Joes are down for the first 51 seconds of this.
If I were there, I might send 5 guys out anyway. I don't think anybody's going to notice. They're not going to do it, though. Missed opportunity, I say. Kevin Mcnally, Trevor Baptiste. I knew it. Oh, paper, rock, scissors, and Baptiste wins. Goes paper. They clearly had something up. That's a good one. Baptiste, he wins even the non-traditional face-offs. Tyson Bell shovels it across, can't get it through. And I believe after the shootout contest, the intensity level has dropped.
Yeah, once you're told that those goals count or don't count.
What a rip by Baptiste. Again, he spent a summer playing forward in Denver in the Colorado College League, and he banged that one off the crossbar and up into the net.
But he's not going to be a forward playing for Philadelphia.
No. He'll be in his own end if he's out there. Obviously, the main thing is the face-offs. But you got to play a role. You can't just face off in the NLL.
No
Oh,
team.
what a catch by Tyson Bell. Thought about between the legs, but held on to it. And then a couple of nifty fakes and beats Claxton.
Yeah, no team wants a pure face-off guy. No, they're not interested in doing that.
No.
So you have to play to
that's
the
a big part why Trevor Baptiste, of course, played forward in that league. Sorry, we're just chatting with people while we're announcing.
Pros, goal. Scorer number 6, Tyson
Matt
Bell.
Noble taking face-offs now. What does Matt Noble not do?
Number 21, Trevor Baptiste. And number 22.
Brooker Muir has it behind the net. We're down to the final 3.5 minutes. It's 12-5 for the pros. Oh, that's a nice save by Charles Claxton. The jump shot a la Callum Crawford by... Whoever took that shot. That Deckelbaum? Oh, hard twister, beauty! Oh,
No, they
do
said it
not
was in.
wave that off. Oh, Kropman, I am disappointed in you.
You have been very disappointed in that
have.
particular ref, especially.
I have. I like Kyle. He's a very good ref, but I would let that goal count. You're going to let that goal count? No. To be fair,
That goal should count.
that goal should count. The other one shouldn't. But those are minor.
That's a
quibbles.
minor. That's a minor thing.
2.5 minutes to go.
So
Tomorrow will be the final day,
yes.
and it will get serious again. Hey, Mark Donahue's looking quite a bit happier now. He's got a bit of a smile.
I'd like to point out, now that we're inside 2.5 minutes, we are halfway into the 7th.
Yes, which makes it a 14th.
It's not the final quarter, it's the final 7th.
There you go.
Halfway into it means we're,
Into the final 14th.
yeah, we got the final 14th now.
What percentage is that?
I could do the math, but it's a little bit late in the day. We've been
It's around 7.
Calling-
7.25%.
yes.
But we've moved on from that already. So Pros get it back. Zach Reed up in the offensive zone. Dane Smith feeds it through. Can't quite connect on the pass. And the shot clock expires. Penalty
Now they're
coming.
going to give the interference penalty for touching Claxton, I believe.
I believe that's a penalty shot with 1:28 to go in the final 7th. Interference, when you think of it, is very similar to a penalty shot.
It is, but it's not. I'd like to say, Stephen, that I have a friend who believes, because I'm from the Boston area, that every time Tom Brady gets touched, it should be a penalty. I'd sort of say this is your fascination with penalty shots might be that.
Maybe.
Every time there's a penalty, it just should be a penalty shot.
I could go with that. I'd be down with that for this game.
Inside the final minute,
Yeah.
so we are well
Scooped
into
up
the
by
final
Watkinson.
14th.
Look at him tearing down Simpson, going after him. One-hand shovel shot. Nice idea. Not very good execution from Watkinson. Connor Kiernan has it. Pass across to Downs. He misses. He's going to bounce back out. Here's Matt Noble. Challenger for the game MVP.
By the way, I don't know. And that was actually some pretty good defense that was played there at that last minute to make that check.
Through the crease, the first player to play it. Shame on you, Brooker Muir, trying to play that ball after you ran through the crease.
20 seconds
Downs
left.
takes the pass back from Kiernan. Steps, shoots, just misses, and gets up into the roof. The ceiling, not the roof. Roof's outside. Derek Downs having some fun after missing those
That
shots.
will do it.
That will do it. They're already cleaning the windows behind.
Oh, and they will be cleaning the windows on the floor.
I love
They
the
do
way
an
they take
amazing
care of
job.
it.
It's incredible. If you've never been, if you were a lacrosse fan, you should come out because as much fun as we've been having, and we've been kind of joking about it, and it's been a very long day. It's been a very fun day. And by the way, if you are a box lacrosse fan and you want to learn box lacrosse, you not only want to see the pros play here, you want to see the Joes play here. You want to go watch some of the ordinary teams and see how they do it.
Because you see the pros doing these best players in the world doing it, some of the best players doing things. You're like, it's like watching pro lacrosse when you see what they do. And then you see some of the other players, you think, hey, these are guys who aren't at quite that level. But you can see some of the things that they do that are good, but you can see what the difference is and what you need to aspire to.
Yeah, it's absolutely, I mean, it's a blast to be able to watch it. And again, if you are somebody trying to learn from box lacrosse, there's a lot you can learn from at all levels of this.
And
Whether
if you love the game, come here to the LASNAI and go to the Alistair Besky Memorial in Prague. I went to my first one in April. It is glorious.
I am envious of that experience. So,
I'm going back. It's too good.
Stephen, we had a lot of fun here tonight.
Yeah.
We've got more games to call tomorrow, but thanks everybody for joining us. And now they're saying that the Joes came through and took it.
Wow.
The final
What
score
a
was
finish. 101-99.
Final score was 13-5, but
Spoil sport.
well,
Party pooper.
this is the first time we've had to say it because it's differing from what's on the screen. So final score is 13-5, but if you want to call it 101-99, you can. On behalf of Stephen Stamp, I'm Chuck Jaffe. It has been our pleasure calling all the action for you here today. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow back on laxallstars.com. Don't forget to watch as much of the action and the finals as we move towards it tomorrow at the Lax All-Stars North American Invitational, brought to you by Nike Lacrosse. Good night, everybody.
What is the future of sport? The next evolution of athlete? Well, we hypothesize that athletes will develop the sixth sense, if you will, extremely heightened instincts, If you look across the animal kingdom, a sixth sense is innate to many species. With the right tools, our athletes can acquire an inexplicable connection to see without seeing, to feel without feeling, to do things that for thousands of years didn't seem humanly possible.
At Sisu, we take a very scientific approach to making sure our technologically advanced, doctor-developed, scientifically backed, industry-changing mouthguards are the most protective, lightest, talkable, breathable, comfortable, drinkable, removable mouthguards on the planet to guarantee you're protected. No matter what comes your way, the Sisu Next Gen. Sisu, talk, breathe, drink.